whatever the outcome of the referendum, Britain has been faced and will be faced to sluggish terrain.
So Fabio, the Brexit referendum is extremely close, and what do markets think of this important issue?
Well, Jessica, it is true that the markets have been worried a lot lately about Britain exiting the European Union. And polls have shown relentlessly an outcome from one side to the other, which doesn't make things easier. What is certain is that there is an equally divided country with possibly people benefiting from higher education and women preferring to stay in the European Union as much as the greatest majority of Scottish, 80% of them, and 80% of Londoners are wanting to stay there with all their strength, while the countryside and the remaining of the population really wish a different outcome. Interestingly enough, whilst polls, the official polls have shown a head-to-head competition with the missable swings from one camp to the other, and that will continue until the official results will be over, bookmakers give an 85% chances for Britain to remain in Europe. Now, I believe that at the end of the day it will be the camp of the undecided and effective participation that will tilt the results one way or the other. Therefore, I believe it's better not to speculate on results, but try and concentrate on the much deeper nation's structural problems.
And Fabio, what are these real problems in your opinion?
Well, there are two different levels of problems. One is internal to Britain, and the other one is the repercussion on a still young and weak Europe. But now, if we take a step back in history, we know that already Schuman and Jean Monnet had set the path for a unified Europe that would progressively integrate from the CECA then to more geographic, political and economic integration. And this was a very strong call to try and avoid the Third World War rather than a much smaller and restrictive economic union. And this vision has brought the longest period of peace in Europe as much as the biggest growth we ever had. This is why Draghi, as head of the European Central Bank, has made it crystal clear that there is no way back, and he will do whatever it takes to try and keep the euro and Europe united. Now, we are faced with a huge strain from an unprecedented flow of migrants, from people trying to escape famine and wars from Asia and Africa. And this, of course, has waken up fears from many inhabitants in Europe. And whilst this is more psychological than an economic problem, it's been exacerbated by skillful politicians who have created this secessionist and populist, or exacerbated more than created, secessionist and populist movements. And this is not only in Europe, but throughout the globe. Therefore, I believe that whatever the outcome of the referendum, Britain has been faced and will be faced to sluggish terrain.
Fantastic. Well, Fabio, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insights.
Well, Jessica, it was interesting to share my view on this very emotional referendum. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you. That's all for myself and Fabio, but for all the latest market moves, do keep clicking back to Dukascopy TV.